What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hoodco Roofing, hoodcoroofing.com. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and ProCharge EV, prochargeev.com. All right, y'all. Hope your week has been great. Hope your Thursday's off to a fantastic start. Really good show last night for Scone and T at Oliver Twist. Thanks to everybody who came out and everybody who watched. The couple things we got, ESPYs were last night. It was a more LSU takeover. Livy Dunn was, one of the hosts. She was kind of prominently featured on it. Angel Reese won Breakthrough Athlete of the Year, which was probably the easiest vote of the entire thing, since she literally went from a well-known women's basketball player to internationally famous overnight. And Justin Jefferson won for Play of the Year. So, yeah, there was quite a heavy amount of LSU influence at the ESPY, so that was cool to see. And then the other, Juan said never really cared much about the ESPYs, but it was awesome to see LSU take over. Completely agree, Juan. And I'll tell you this too: the fact that they now broadcast the ESPYs on ABC increases the profile. Like I've always said, you don't need a sports award show because we have winners. That's why we play seasons, right? You have champions. You don't need ESPYs. There are awards at the end of seasons. It's not like the movies where you have Academy Awards, because I guess technically you can go on box office sales, but box office sales aren't always an indicator of how good a movie is. Anyway, the point is, like in sports, we have winners and losers and champions and runners up and all different, and guys that win MVPs. We have awards in sports. Like we don't need a sports award show, so that's why it's silly. But the fact that they put it on ABC certainly increases the exposure of the ESPYs, and it's pretty cool that LSU was all over that thing. So, yes, completely agree. And the other thing I have there in the description today is Chase Burns, the pitcher from Tennessee, did pick Wake Forest. I'm not going to tell you I had some premonition that he was going elsewhere. I'm just telling you, like, the reason that I was not necessarily just downplaying Burns, but it was just LSU fans were so hyper-focused on Chase Burns. And I understand why. I mean, there's a familiarity, with Tennessee, he throws really hard. But the thing I'll remind you is he lost his spot in the rotation at Tennessee this year. And as a reliever, had an ERA north of 6. So he struggled this year. But anyway, so look, Chase Burns is going to Wake Forest. That's fine. LSU could certainly keep Gavin Guidry in that closer role. Burns wasn't going to be a rotation piece for LSU if he got here. My guess is that's what he wanted. He wanted the opportunity to go be part of a weekend rotation. And when you look at LSU and you've got Thatcher Hurd coming back, who'll be your Friday guy, and then after Hurd, some combination of Ackenhausen vying for a job, Justin Lohr, the Xavier transfer vying for a job, Cameron Johnson, the freshman lefty who throws 100, potentially vying for a job. We'll see if you get the Alabama portal transfer. Luke Holman. So my point is, you've already got Cade Woods transferring in from Alabama. a kid from Monroe who's would have been a draft guy out of high school, but had Tommy John, so he went to college, pitched a couple years at Bama. He throws 98. So I guess my point is, like, I don't, and that's before we even start talking about guys like Appleby and Newt and Moffitt, guys who didn't pitch for you this past year. Bronzini, Primo. I mean, you can run through the list. I mean, you got a ton of arms already. So where would he fit in? And then, of course, you're gonna pursue Braden Montgomery. So, my point is, it's not that Chase Burns isn't a talented guy. It's you have far greater needs than Chase Burns. I think people became enamored with the idea of Chase Burns and didn't look at it practically, which is why yesterday I was screaming, "Hey, you're taking your eye off the ball. Chase Burns isn't the gem of this class. It would be Braden Montgomery if you can get him." And LSU could use Luke Holman because that's a guy you could stick in your Sunday role in your rotation and immediately gives you probably the best Sunday guy in the league. You know what I mean? All right. Let's say some good morning, see what y'all got. Appreciate y'all for being there as always. Trivia Carter, Brad David, Weston Weaver, Ethan Davidson, good morning. Trivia, by the way, Saturday is Drew's birthday party. And just saying, it's been a year since last year's birthday party, and Iraq never delivered your Drew candy bars. So I'm just saying, it's now been another year. Jesse Brown, what, if any, penalty do you think Kamara may get from the NFL? I would be guessing, Jesse. I know some people have compared it to Bryant McKinney, who got McKinney got 4 games back in 2008 for something similar. I don't know that they go the full 6 games because of the plea deal, but the NFL doesn't have to be beholden to that plea deal. They can essentially do whatever they want. I mean, Goodell is, as people often say, judge, jury, executioner. He can levy whatever penalty he wants. So I would say fewer than 6, more than 1. How about that? Justin Marquez, good morning. Tim Gotro, Michael Huffpants, good morning. Dalton Barnett, morning, Matty. Drove to Laredo and back on Monday. Now headed to Southeast Texas from El Paso. Wish me luck. Oof. Michael, my brother and I, when he moved to California to do the ACE program, we drove from Baton Rouge to Los Angeles when we moved his stuff there. So I went with him. And that's a straight drive across I-10. I mean, you get on I-10 and you drive straight into Los Angeles on I-10. And you go through all of Texas, including El Paso. When we left Baton Rouge, I want to say at 8 a.m., we rolled into El Paso, I think around 10:30 or 11. So it was like 14 hours. I guess it would have been about 12 hours to get across Texas, which is insane. Larry Garner, good morning. Let's see, Brad David, that's funny how you said yesterday we all love watching guys in suits talk college football in a hotel ballroom. I always love SEC Media Days. Tiger, good morning. I'm headed to hang out with your old neighbor, Lenny M. in Lake Livingston. All right, Tiger Diver, y'all have a great day. Tell the Mosses we said hello. Antron Hemingway, good morning. Can't wait till Media Days right around the corner. Let the fam know I said good morning. Will do, Antron. Thanks so much, man. Have a great day. Reed Rule, good morning. Will you have any special guests on for episode 2000? Let's see. So 2000 will be 14 days from now. So we'll be... I think I might have one of those podcasts a week, 2 weeks from today. I can't remember if we scheduled for Thursday or Friday. If we do, then I'm not at my regular time that day. I don't know. We'll see. I don't have anything planned, Reed. If y'all have suggestions, let me know. Bart St. Germain, what's going on? Brant Roban, good morning. Head to Nashville tomorrow for 13th anniversary. Okay. Hotel is throwing some complimentary beverages. Which bourbon should I celebrate with? Usually, well, Brant, I'll tell you this. Usually, and I don't know this definitively, but usually when you get I don't know this. Let me not even say usually. Let me say sometimes when they offer a complimentary beverage, it is from a list of things. Like, you know what I mean? It's not have anything you want. It's choose among this, right? So I don't know. I don't know. But I guess it depends what they have at the bar, man. But you'll handle it, Brand. You know what to go for. You know what to go for. Kelly Gross, Truax, what's going on? Charlie Cavell, Pat Huseman, Bubba Smith, good morning. Trey Patan, what's going on? Where am I? Sorry. Earl, good morning. Would you say our secondary is our weak link if we have one? Secondary and edge rusher, I would say, are the unknowns. I wouldn't even say it's a weak link. I would just say it's unknown. Like, I like the 4 cornerbacks that LSU brought in. I mean, Deuce Chestnut was a freshman All-American at Syracuse and was All-Conference last year. J.K. Johnson's played a good bit of football, was a high 4-star at Ohio State. Zy Alexander was a freshman All-American at Southeastern and then FCS All-American. You know, it was 2-time All-Conference and FCS All-American. And of course, Denver Harris was a 5-star. So you brought in tons of talent. Then you got Javian Toviano coming in from this class, who they really like a lot as well. I guess my point is, they got a lot of talent, or I just don't know who's going to win those jobs. So whenever someone wins those jobs and emerges, I'm going to feel like it's because they're pretty good. Peter Adams from Puerto Vallarta. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Megan Hurst. Brand, you know these LSU players are motivated. How do you think they feel hearing Brian Kelly say they aren't contenders for a championship till next season? Honestly, man, I don't think the players really pay attention to that. And I'm not pulling that like a bogus line. I mean, that was an interview Brian Kelly did in June with Blake Topmeyer from USA Today, that he printed the text of it. So there wasn't even video or audio of it. If you're assuming like that the players are going and reading that, I really don't think. I think we're making a much bigger deal of it than any player is considering, honestly. Craig Straub, what's going on, man? Been a while. Good morning. Yes, sir. Sonny Warbington. Morning, y'all. Great to be a Tiger fan these days. Looking like a hot commodity, positive publicity everywhere. Scott Shirley, you told us Jaden Daniels didn't transfer to LSU, not to start. Do you feel the same way about Logan Diggs and all the cornerbacks? I mean, I was right about Jaden, that's for sure. The thing with Logan, which is different, is his situation at Notre Dame was a little different. So they have, like, he had other backs on the roster. Just let me not just guess. So I just want to like illustrate this point for you. Hang on. Okay. So last year, Audric Estime was their leading rusher with 920 yards. He had 156 carries. Logan Diggs had 165 carries for 820 yards. So Diggs actually had the most attempts. They were really kind of what and what side by side. So there's a lot of conventional wisdom to say that if Diggs came back to Notre Dame, that he would kind of be the bell cow or still be prominently featured, whereas at LSU, you got to come in and earn a job. Listen, I still believe that LSU is going to operate by committee. You've got Josh Williams, you got Armani Goodwin back healthy. You've got the two true freshmen coming in, obviously. Um, we'll see what happens with John Emery, if what his status is or is going to be. Um, Noah Kane is back, so you got a very crowded room. I'm not directly answering your question, obviously. I guess my point is to say, Scott, that I think by the end of the year, we'll all decide that Logan Diggs is LSU's best, most complete back. But if you tell me like game one against Florida State, do I think Logan Diggs has 20 carries? I don't. All right, Bill Schmidt, good morning. Vernell Thomas, good morning, Scone. Do you think Jaden is getting overlooked? Not at all. He's got the second best Heisman odds preseason. I don't think he's getting overlooked at all. Couple more here. Got about 5 more minutes. So shout out to Brock, y'all. Brock Rock and Wine's coming up Saturday, July 29th. Buy your tickets, brortho.com. Really cool event in Tiger Stadium. South Stadium Club. So if you've never been up to the South Stadium Club, the big old atrium in South Stadium Club is open. Big glass walls overlooking Tiger Stadium from the south end zone. You can see downtown Baton Rouge in the distance. Beautiful place for an event. Live music, tons of food, wine stations. Great event, raising money for the Brock Foundation. So get your tickets, brortho.com. Brad David, do you ever remember talking LSU baseball this late in the year? Not so consistently, but Brad, like when the draft came, obviously we would talk about the draft. When portal news came, we would talk about that. But considering it's continued to lead because you went from regionals to super regionals to Omaha to the championship series to winning it to the celebration straight into the draft, you know what I mean? Like, and going 1-2 in the draft and having done record number of guys drafted and then talking about the prospects. And this has definitely been an outlier of a year. And I kind of hope this becomes the norm. Damon Gilmore, Mason Batts. Juan, there's a pitcher for Nichols that was nails against Alabama in the regionals. Any chance for transfer portal? I have no idea, Juan. Sorry, man. Brian Ashcraft's staff was high on Newt, throwing 97, came into LSU hurt. Let's see if he can pick up where he left off from high school. Lucas Blanchard, good morning. Cajun Country, good morning. What do you think the conversation Jay had with Christian Little? I figured he would not make the team next year with the incoming players. Oh, he'll make the team. No, he'll make the team. It's just a matter of what his role will be. He's still a dude with a big body that throws mid-upper 90s. So he'll be here. I think I really hesitate to call out names, y'all, but you could look at the roster and see, okay, if there's roster spots that need to be had, what players aren't going to be back? Like, we went through the numbers yesterday. I said 25 guys were returning. I was assuming Christian Little was leaving. So if Little's back, that's 26. You're going to get 11 of your commitments in. That's 37. And you've already gotten 4 transfers, which is 41. The max you can have is 40. So, and they're going to add more transfers. So they're going to purge at least one, probably multiple players from this roster. And it's not hard to look at the roster and see who it's going to be. Because you can just look at guys that are on the roster that are not going to be contributors, if that makes sense. Jason H., good morning. Jackson Carney. Matt, is there a reason LSU seems to go first in media day every year? It doesn't really bother me, but noticeable. It wasn't that way, Jackson, until the last couple of years. I know they did last year and they are this year again. And I don't know why. Someone has to go first, but maybe it's per their request. I really don't know. And what I do know is the way that they organize it is by day and by session. They try to make sure that they have like heavy hitters in every day and then in every session. Like for example, I'll look at today, so or this year. So Monday you've got LSU, Missouri, and Texas A&M. Okay. Well, obviously LSU is the headliner, but Texas A&M and Jimbo are interesting as well. So you get, and then Drinkwitz is in the middle. Well, Drinkwitz isn't interesting, but you sandwich in between Kelly and Jimbo so people come and stay. You got Hugh Freeze, Kirby on day 2 with Zach Arnett and Clark Lee. People aren't necessarily going to be interested in Zach Arnett or Clark Lee, but they're really going to be interested in Hugh and Kirby. So more likely to stay on Tuesday, right? So if you go to Wednesday, it's Saban, Pittman, Napier, and Mark Stoops. Well, it's Bama Day. So, of course, anyone else who's there on Bama Day is going to get an overflow from that. And then they always try to make sure everybody stays till the last day. Well, Josh Heupel is literally last. So you're in Nashville. There's going to be a ton of Tennessee media there. So to prevent teams or media from leaving early and not staying to the very end, you put Lane Kiffin first on the last day, and you wrap up with Josh Heupel. So you're wrapping up with Josh Heupel to make sure everyone stays because all the Tennessee media will still be there. So, because a lot of people do leave, like after their school goes, or by the time you get to Thursday, it's long. I mean, I could see you catch Lane Kiffin in the morning and you bolt. Like if Clark Lee was bringing up the rear, you know what I mean? They know what they're doing. Kirk Taylor, Thad Landry, what's going on? Brian Penn, Andy Boyd, Jason H., what's going on? Sorry if I'm missing some of y'all, but it's 8 o'clock. I got to get going. Who's going to drop off more this season, Georgia or Bama? Bama, just because of Georgia's schedule. They'll be right back there. Wendell Norman, Leon Williams, biggest surprise player for LSU or Saints? Ask me that when I have some more time to think about it. Off the cuff, I would tell you Kyron Lacey. Matt, do you think Auburn will take a big jump under Freeze? Not this year. I just don't think they have the talent. I think by the end of the season, they will beat someone they shouldn't beat. I'll say that. Hugh Freeze is a good enough coach that he will get that team playing well enough by mid-end of the season that they will beat someone that they shouldn't beat. Ray Langlois, good morning. Hopping on for a minute, then into Mass. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it, man. Mike the Tiger, 2023 Natty Champs. What's going on? Juan, did you hear the full story on the guy that bet on the LSU Bama game? I did. We talked about it a couple days ago. And not even degenerates bet on college baseball. So stupid of that guy. He got fired. I wouldn't want my team to have to face Paul Skeens. Yeah, the funny thing is, like, scratching Luke Holman wasn't exactly like anything that moved the odds at all. I mean, it was Paul Skeens. Anyway, okay, I got to go. Sam Dixon, now that Media Days has moved to Nashville, far away from Alabama, should we expect the lobby to be filled with rowdy doctors, lawyers, neuroscientists dressed in obnoxious Vandy costumes? No, but you will still have Bama fans. You're not that far away from Alabama. I mean, Huntsville, northern Alabama, is at the border of Tennessee, and Nashville is in central Tennessee. So you're not that far, quite honestly. So I think we'll still probably have some, not as many as when it was in Hoover, but you'll still have some nerds. You're more likely to have the Tennessee fans than the Vanderbilt fans, quite honestly. Okay, I got to get going. Thank y'all for watching. As always, smash the like button. Shout out to Brock and Hudco. You need orthopedics, go to Brock. You need roof, call Hudco. Big shout out to Crystal Poche, y'all. Went yesterday. Absolutely incredible. I had to go before, hopped on a plane and stayed in a hotel bed for 4 nights. But man, yesterday was amazing. Got my blood flow in my leg and my hip capsule that I haven't had in a long time and feeling awesome. So I'm telling you, man, she's a lifesaver. If you got pain, go see Crystal Poche. Just book a session. Restored Motions. Okay, we'll see you. Have an awesome day. Peace.